plant in my garage. It's taken a lot more of my time than I thought it would. And the thing I keep saying is like, I wonder like, if you could, not that I like, I'm such a high paid employee, but like, if you could chart out the value of my labor per, in terms of dollars per hour, why am I negative on this one? Like I put money in and I get nothing out. And you couldn't come up with a better character trial for me if you really tried to do it.
It is pretty, Greek.
Yeah, it's testing all of my worst, most childlike tendencies all at the same time. Yeah. Like, it's requiring me...
It doesn't rely on any of the things that you're good at, like yelling at somebody to do something correctly.
Right.
It's all completely...
Right. I can't lie to it or trick it or convince it that something that is clearly not okay is okay.
Yeah. There's no tool in your utility belt.
Yeah, I have to do physical labor the same every day, consistency to the right, like the amount of nutrients in the water and the right temperature and the right pH. It's all got to be exact. Everything dies, and I have to put months of this work in before anything comes out of it. Yeah. Which is like I have like the patience of a little child, like a toddler walking around. My ability to delay acquisition of what I want. That's not there, dude. And so this is literally like, I've been given Greek trials to deal with, and it's pissing me the fuck off.
No, yeah, but then I would, summarize the situation summarize it as you're like, I'd be so happy to kill
you. Yeah, I can't wait. The time is right. When the time's right. Yeah. No, I'm putting in like a work week of work on this, like a full-time job worth of work on this. It's pissing me off. I think I got this figured out. So like next time it's not gonna be, it'll just be like 45 minutes a day tops. But even like I just did everything wrong. This isn't even the first time I've done this. And I just did everything wrong again. I found a whole new crop of things to do wrong.
I took what I learned last time and I got a whole different set of things wrong with it.
Yeah.
I also have been what I would call pleasantly unhelpful. Which is that I can't do anything. I don't know the answers to these problems, but he describes them in vents, and I'm like, I love this for you.
Yeah.
You're doing some shit. You're identifying problems, you're solving them, and he gets it every time. Every time he posts like, oh my god, if I don't solve this by this time, it's gonna fucking wreck it. And then he makes it under the wire every time. I'm rooting for him.
This is the first non-World of Warcraft thing I've really tried at since before COVID, easily.
It's good. We all need projects.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Maybe in a couple of months.
We'll see. But until then, Fire Emblem.
And with that, welcome back to Scryer's Room. I am your host, Famfare.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Rob. Thanks for having me, fellas. It's good to be back.
It's back, yes.
Telling you on a little vacation there, we banged out like little behind the scenes, we banged out like 3 or 4 or 5 episodes to release over time, and then when we went on vacation and laid out on these guys in like 3 weeks. I've been missing the boys.
Yeah, I've been pacing around my home like a tiger in a cage.
Yeah,
he needs enrichment for his enclosure.
I was just gonna say that. Damn it! This day I don't have enough enrichment in my habitat.
I need it. Yeah.
It's a real problem. If you're a fat, unemployed guy, you need to have enrichment in your enclosure, or else you go and feral.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, everybody, you probably don't see enough people. Yeah. You need enrichment in your enclosure.
If you can hear this right now.
If you can hear this right now, odds are that you're not like, I'm just so people now. It's and especially so if like I could give a TED talk. The TED talk I would give would be like, oh, everyone should do a stupid podcast with their friends so long. It's like,
yeah, this rules.
It structures your time. It's so fun to come see you guys.
It's an excuse to hang out in a structured manner.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy the nature of this content, go on and give me a like and subscribe on YouTube. You can go and give me a follow on Blue Sky. And you can support us on our Patreon. And as Rob had stated just a minute ago, we're going to talk about the Fire Emblem series today.
Yes.
Yeah, I've played most of the games in this series, not all the games in this series. See if you can guess which ones I had to learn about last night. I've done a whole book report here. I got a whole pile of notes in front of me. Watched a lot of videos, read a lot of stuff. I made an effort to not just have this be like me reading the wiki off to you. I tried to put everything together in a way that made sense to me. There's a lot. There's like 17 of those games, maybe 16 to 17 ones coming out.
And Fire Emblem is one of those games that's like one of the original Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Like
So-
it has some storied, deep roots in the video game zeitgeist.
So I learned some stuff about that for this. The company that makes these games, Intelligent Systems, I knew that. Like, I knew that they're like a Nintendo first-party developer, or second-party developer, I guess what they call them, where like they're like a Nintendo, or not Nintendo, but they are a Nintendo in-house studio.
Yeah.
And they got started as like
They're collared and chained in the basement.
yeah, exactly. They got started as like employees, spun some like Nintendo R&D, and founded the studio to work with them. That's like that's one of their boys. And they also make like Kirby and stuff like that. I think they made the Mother series, but no one. I haven't played those. You guys played
Those games are all nits.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't played them, and neither of you.
I watch stuff about.
Yeah, everyone knows about that. But
No.
Anyone who's played Smash Bros. Knows stuff about them.
You know what? I'm going to play the Mother series.
yeah, oh, good.
I'm going to bounce right off, I'm sure, and then you guys are going to hear about it. But I'm going to do it.
That's a good little goal.
They made the old Paper Mario games. I don't know if they make the new ones or not.
Well,
Fun.
But yeah, Fire Emblem is a tactics game. It's a tactics RPG, a strategy RPG, where you
what are the first?
where you make your little guy. Well, I'm sure there are other games. I don't know about like when I was looking this up. They're like they said this game inspired them, and that game I didn't look into that. So I'm sure there are inspirations. If you know about them, leave me a comment and call me a moron for not knowing about them.
Once upon a time, I tried to play. I think it's called Ogre Tactics.
Tactics Ogre.
Oh yeah, that's classic.
And I was like,
Their tactics are.
I don't know what's happening. We're closing this.
Friend of the podcast, Rob K, really wants me to play 64. Ogre 64. It's Ogre Battle 64,
Yeah.
which is another one of these games. I haven't played those. Mostly in this kind of series, the only games that I've played are Fire Emblem, or that in this genre, I should say. Well, I haven't played Triangle Strategy. I haven't played Tier Ring Saga, which we'll get into at some point a little bit. What's the one that you really like?
Disgaea?
No, I played a little of this guy, but what's the newer one?
Unicorn Overlord?
Unicorn Overlord. I haven't played that either.
Unicorn Overlord literally like added life into a genre that was dying.
So like of these strategical tactical RPG games, I've only really played the Fire Emblem games. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not like, oh, I'm a genre veteran. I know everything there is to know, dude. I had to learn some stuff to even like do this podcast here. But it's a tactical game originally for the NES. Came out with Super Nintendo, introduced to America on the Game Boy, and it was Game Boy living for a while. It was the Game Boy, the DS, the 3DS. They made a Wii title. Now it's on the Switch, and presumably the Switch 2 will have the
The new one's on the
new
Switch.
one,
Yeah.
I just-
One of the only reasons I want to switch to is to play the new one.
when it comes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
When does that come out this year?
I think it's coming out like now.
Soon?
Yeah, it's like
Oh, baby.
I keep seeing trailers and stuff for it.
Catching that algorithm wave.
Yes,
oh,
baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
This was a good idea.
Oh yeah.
And if you're like me, and you're not really, I tried to play one Fire Emblem games. It was sort of like Tactics Ogre, where I was like, too much right now. We aren't too high. And I just stopped trying to do that. But my exposure to Fire Emblem games is just from Smash series, basically.
And that's a lot of
Keep
people.
adding
Yeah.
more and more fucking Fire Emblem characters, and I hate a lot of them.
So do you know why that is?
No,
Because the one of the main creators of Smash Bros, Fire Emblem, is his favorite game series.
Well,
So
you know, go like with them. They make Kirby games, and he's the Kirby guy. Like, I'm pretty sure he works with them.
the wizard
Heads up.
bitch and the dragon bitch. Fuck those characters.
Robin and Thorin.
I hate them so much. There's.
Oh, we'll get to them. They're a long time down the road.
We need to. Yeah, I need to know that.
So everyone's played Super Smash Brothers. Martha and Roy are there. Those were there because they were like to be a tie-in. Because again, these are all like Nintendo second-party quote unquote developers, so they're all working together. As the games were initially pretty bare bones tactical games, but they added more and more mechanics as they went on. It's noted for the weapon triangle, like basically any kind of weapons of rock, paper, scissors. Like fire is bad against, I'm gonna get these wrong. Fire is bad against wind, is bad against lightning, is bad against fire, like in a line like that.
The one that I know, at least in the older games, that works is that swords beat axes, axes beat spears, spears beat swords, because that's actually historically accurate.
And they later introduced special weapons that flip that around. And then there's like light magic is good against dark magic is good against regular magic is against light magic. And there's all these different things.
Right.
And there's things like if you fly, arrows do extra damage to you. There's weapons that hit, like if you're armored or on a horse, you get hit with extra damage from the weapon. There's all kinds of stuff like that.
And then there are specific weapons that have like unique properties. Like there's typically the Armor Slayer, which is a sword that's good against armored characters where normally swords are shitty against them.
And every game has like the special weapon or special weapons. And in some of the games, the focus of the game is you got to catch them all. Where like there's
extra shit you got to do.
Most of the games, speaking generally, there's like weapon ranks, like how the weapon rank isn't like how much damage you do. A weapon rank is like what weapons you have access to. So if you're S rank, you can use like the legendary special weapon unless there's some kind of genetic component. Because some weapons are literally like personal to you, or like maybe not personal, but like one of the things that is like another staple of the series. It's not in all the games, and like when the first time I played this wasn't there, but it was one of the earlier games in the series has this. I would definitely call it a series staple now, is that you can ship your units together.
Eugenics simulator.
Yeah, eugenics simulator to make the strongest children. And that's actually in the fourth game when I played that, because I didn't like follow a guide, but I also didn't go in blind. And so my experience with that game was once I had the children rolling, it was kind of easy because they were all snowball demon monsters and they destroyed everything.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really a tactics game, it was more like a snowball game. But that's, again, I'm sure if I was a 12-year-old Japanese kid in 1995 going in blind, I would not have had units that good.
Right.
Or if you were shipping characters because they were cute together instead of because of they making war peace them their children.
You have no idea how that's even going to work. And I say that it can happen. It's not an intuitive system. There are guides and guides and guides.
We're 36 years into this series, and let me tell you, the art and presentation has changed a lot.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
I fight for my friends.
So there's the Super Smash Bros. Promotion. There's like the socials, and they really lean into this. And this is why people are buying their game now, honestly. People don't. No, that's a silly opinion.
Tell us the silly opinion.
I was going to say people don't want a tactical game, they want a tea party game, but they want both. But they want both together at the same time.
They do.
And that's like a much more of a major element now, where you have a tea party with your characters and you dress them up in all little hats and costumes. Yeah. And that is important though, generally. That's how you get the best children together. That's how you get, like, in your characters, when they like each other, they get stat bonuses for being near each other.
Yeah.
So that does matter. It's up or nothing.
The support mechanic.
Scotty, why did you first replay through the same storyline?
All right, so I'm going to save a separate episode for, I think it's Fire Emblem 15, Three Houses. I am a simp for that game. It is in my top 5, possibly top 3. And one of the, I'm not going to say core mechanics, but an important mechanic of that game is tea parties. Yeah. Where you sit down with one of the characters, 16. You have a little tea party with them. You have to do a little support conversation. If you get it right, you get a permanent stat increase that actually fucking matters. So having a good, riveting tea party with your friends is an important mechanic in making war beasts.
Yeah.
You can't just skip that if you want the strongest
unit. Decorate your player-owned castle and dress up your lord.
Yeah.
That's important stuff. And
then take your pick of your students.
You will notice that he said 15. As I said 16. There are 17 games in this series, and 18 is on the way. That's not counting spin-offs or small releases or any sort of cartoon or side thing or anything that the creator made after he got mad and left. / got kicked out.
Because Three Houses has a Dynasty Warriors spinoff called Three Hopes.
Yeah, there's possibly as many as 4 Dynasty Warriors spinoffs of this game. I'm pretty sure that I know of at least 2.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't count those in the count.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Everyone knows what an RPG is. I don't need to go over that. You beat my.
If you're listening to this podcast, you know what an RPG is.
When you do your little battles with the little monsters and the little soldiers, you get XP. Your stats go up. You have like how your stats go up, and it's not like it's pretty normal RPG stats. You have strength and/or magic power, your speed, your ability to hit and dodge. Luck is a thing a lot of the time. Defense, magic resistance, how much you can move, stuff like that.
But one of the unique things about Fire Emblem, which adds a lot of replay value, and for some people is a deal breaker / maddening, is you are not guaranteed stat ups.
So when you level up, you have like stat growth stats, like Pokemon, where whether or not, because the numbers are kind of part of the point of the series is that the numbers are kind of small. Like things never get bigger than double digits, and so like going from 10 to 11 speed might be a lot. That might be the difference between getting hit to a double, which is if you're so much faster than the opponent, you attack twice, or get attacked twice if you're so much slower than them. So that at one point speed might matter a lot. And your character might only have like a 40% chance to increase their speed when you level up. This in the older games, because of how the RNG, like the Game Boy games, one of the things people know about the Game Boy games is like they know how the RNG seeding works. So like before a guy levels up, he'll like select 3 characters and take the cursor and go like woo and like move the cursor all over to show like the movement preview for all these different characters, so that when a level up happens, he gets all the stats up all at once.
That's hilarious.
Yes,
I had no idea.
Yeah, I've seen people do
That's
that.
fucking wild.
I've seen people do that.
I didn't know you could become a wizard. It only works in Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
I can cast spells, but only in this one video.
yeah. There's a thing that they added in later games, like much later, called fixed growth, which is where like you have a 50% chance to increase strength, so you guaranteed level it up every other level, no matter what.
Okay.
Like kind of like filling a bar that overflows.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That's helpful.
Yeah.
That's helpful because like imagine like just getting shit on with RNG and the character you expect to be a sweeper is just a little Debbie bitch and you can't do anything with them.
There's a lot of like ROM hacks out there, which God, I didn't even put anything in my notes about ROM hacks, man. I just thought about it just now. And a lot of the more modern ROM hacks will have like, do you want to do regular growths, fixed growths, or in otherwise no growths? There's some people like that. Ultra arm mode, your stats don't increase. Figure it out.
That's fucking wild, dude.
People are figuring out words of power to move their cursor around.
Then scrying sigils in the movement preview.
Yeah, exactly. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll figure it out.
That's like the people who be like, oh, I did a no level up run of Dark Souls with barehanded.
Yeah,
it's like wow.
Exactly like that.
With a Guitar Hero controller. The DDR dance fad.
Yo, didn't you saw the one chick who beat Radon simultaneously on like 2 different like feeds, and she was using a DDR pad and like a controller.
Awesome.
Oh, that's insane.
And it took her like hundreds of attempts.
Awesome.
The fact she hit it out was fucking that's wild,
that's
dude.
like video games and a bad TV show, like playing DDR and using DSLR at the same time. That's like in a bad sitcom. That's what playing video games looks like to old people. Yeah. So that's as Coney and I said earlier, there's like all kinds of special weapons. Sometimes the weapons have limited use. They have durability to try to make you use them intelligently. Sometimes you can repair the durability. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes there's no durability. Sometimes you can super hyper upgrade the weapons. There's 1 or 2 of the games where you can like giga upgrade your weapons to make your characters into monsters off of that. Gosh, what else? There's one of the funniest things in any RPG, weight and constitution.
Yeah.
In a lot of the games where weapons will have weight and you'll have a constitution score, which is literally how big you are. And like if you're like a small girl, if your character is a small girl,
I was going to bring this up.
She'll have like a low constitution score. So like small girl with big axe is not a thing in early Fire Emblem.
It's not viable.
The speed penalty for every point of weight over your con the weapon is. So there's a lot of times in the game where like axes in Fire Emblem 6 are all like 1,000,000 pounds. So almost everyone who uses axes is slowed by the axes. Even like the big burly men are slowed by the axes. Or dark magic. Also, the dark magic books are weighty with evil, and so like the little
Heavy with sin.
Yeah, and so a little twinkie dark mage is trying to use this thing, and he's like, "Oh, I only attacked once. Oh no, the sword man hits me twice, my lord. What do I do?"
That's why Skeletor is so jacked.
It's a cool trade-off because in earlier Fire Emblem games, a lot of the female units have low constitution, but that it allows them with the rescue mechanic.
Yeah. Echo Sunday pointed out of the mechanic where, like,
being damsels.
Yeah, you can get like if your unit's in trouble, you have to move. He's like threatened by units on the enemy's turn. You can like run your horse guy over there and pick them up, and it'll
guerrilla attack.
Yeah, it'll slow down the horsemen by their weight. But they won't be able to get attacked. And the horsemen will get attacked instead. That's one of the things horses are good at. Horses, anything but the mount has a higher aid stat than its con stat. So like if you need to to save your little wyvern riding unit. Like, I guess in the lore of the game, the wyvern flies away and you just grab the person.
Right.
And so they're like the person's ability to rescue people is quite high. They can hop on the back of your dragon, but their actual to be rescued stat is quite low. But then the problem with that is your con being low means, gee, that legendary spear is probably £1,000,000. You can't use that too good.
And another aspect that is thematic throughout the game is that almost always Pegasus riders are always female because they weigh less. Pegasus dudes are too heavy for Pegasus to fly around with.
Right on.
I really enjoy
Flying
that.
master gender coded.
Yeah, I
There's
really
your
think
one
that
is like a
I
flying
think that's kind of
unicorn,
cool.
and if you're a dude, you get like a wife.
A wyvern, yeah.
It's just a thing in real life that like we have our jockeys and I don't know some kind of
Yeah.
I don't know what
It's
kind of
basically like
program
jockeys.
it is, but it's like
Jockeys.
yeah. There are there are benefits to these sorts of things.
I think it's a cute little mechanic. I think it's nice.
So as we mentioned, there's a good amount of RNG. There's like your combat is like kind of, hit and miss based on how good you are at hitting versus how bad they are at dodging. And at a certain point in the series, they added a thing where, so like, people don't think that 15% and 85% mean what they mean, If you hear 95% or even 90%, you'll go, that's guaranteed to happen.
Yeah.
And the reality of the situation is never some of the time it's going to miss.
Yeah.
And same thing with, you see 10% chance, that's not going to happen. Well, if 30 guys swing at you, one of those is going to happen. So in the later, when right before they added it, right before they ported this series to America for our stupid American brains who can't come up with the proper words even though they have those in front of them.
Yes.
Right before they ported the game over to the Americas, they added 2 RN for a lot of the things, which is where so instead of rolling, if your hit is above 50, it rolls twice. And if your hit's above 50%, it rolls twice and picks the higher one. And if your hit's below 50%, it rolls twice and picks the lower one. So it's like rolling with advantage and disadvantage. So actually, that 75% chance is more like an 87% chance. That 25% chance is more like a 12% chance or whatever. And so that makes people, that makes the probability work like how people think probability works, even though it doesn't actually work like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And later on, because that's kind of bullshit to have a unit that if he's slightly dodgy, just can't be hit. Like, you could have your little Twinkies, like Thief or Swordmaster or whatever, dodgy man, stand on a tile that gives him bonus to avoidance, like a forest or a fort, and take on the entire enemy army who can't touch him because they actually don't have the number of Japan. Yes, they do. Just pull out of the way like the math. And later into the series, as into the games where after I stopped playing, and Tony's gonna have to pick up, they added a thing like a hybrid system where it's 2 RN above 50, but only 1 RN below 50. Or something like that. Yeah. So
That makes sense because typically I've noticed that the 2 RM with above 50 were like a 90% chance is basically always going to hit, but typically anything that's like a 40% chance feels closer to a 40% chance.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. I could see that.
I mean, that is the big problem with statistics, is that they don't relate very much to how we feel they work at all. They're not intuitive. We think that they are, they're not.
Yeah, I've noticed that the low numbers hit more often than I think they do, and the high numbers barely ever miss. In the at least the one that I played, which is
Man, what an interesting way to get around that. Because I know the exact problem of 90% on Pokemon. If your move doesn't have 100% accuracy, it has 50 is the joke, because it's just that's the accuracy.
The RNG is going to hit you. It's going to hit you bad.
The statistics just happen, and it doesn't feel very nice when it misses.
Right.
So it feels wrong.
Exactly. That's a truism that I figured something out about man.
Yeah.
In fact, by making their little children move the sword band around it.
Well, better just fudge it.
Yeah. Turns out that's what feels right.
Yeah.
So Fire Emblem, first game 1990. Director is this guy Shozo Kaga. They split off. They're also responsible for the Wars series. If you played those, Advanced Wars, which is the first one that came to America. There were 6 games before that were Japan only. Yep.
Really?
6 games, and they did that as well. They made, like they said, Kirby. They had Kirby releases, all that kind of stuff. So they make this as kind of a mess around thing. They start throwing this tactical thing together, and it kind of coalesces into a real thing to where they've been to a real game. And it's the first game, and many of the other games take place on Arcanea, is what I think what the world is called. And I'm gonna get the timeline stuff wrong. If you are a better grognard than me, if your power level is higher than mine, and you've played all the old NES games in order, all of them, and not played the remakes, or played all the NES games and the remakes, and you know, like, well, actually, it was this until they retconned this. I'm not that good, and I apologize for that.
Leave a comment.
Yeah, leave a comment and tell me how much of an idiot I am.
But full disclaimer, we are doing our best.
I'm trying. Yeah, I have played most of these. But I'm gonna get some. I need to get also the translation thing. Like, I haven't played some of the remakes, for example, but I played the originals, and I'm sure that how some guy translated someone's name, from a Japanese game from 1990 is not how the official translators did it when they did a remake in 2011. So like, I'm gonna say a name wrong a lot, or like I'm gonna say one way to say the name. That's not how you say it anymore. And I just had to get those out of the way now. So I'm gonna say some stuff that's wrong.
I mean, just
Good disclaimer. I appreciate it.
just for some framing of that translation problem. Joey Wheeler only has 2 letters in common with his canon Japanese.
Jonochi.
Yeah. Only J and O in that. Otherwise, they're like, this guy Joe, so fuck it, Joey Wheeler.
Marth? Nah, that's Marcus.
Now, Mark, yeah, Mark.
From Southie. If Marth was on that plane, it wouldn't have gone down like that. It wouldn't have gone down like that, let me tell you that.
He actually does most damage with just the tip. So a box cutter in his hands.
That was devastating, yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta watch out for the end of his arc. Okay, so Fire Emblem 1. Dragons. There used to be dragons, lots of kinds of dragons, all kinds of dragons. One kind of dragon was in charge, the divine dragon. That's how you know they're in charge, the god dragons. At some point, the dragons just started to lose it. They stopped having kids and they started to go insane. Nobody knows why. So the dragons that were in charge came up with this idea: what if we turned ourselves into one of the unit types in the game, a Maticate, which is a recurring thing where you're like a dragon man, but you still have this rock that allows you to occasionally hulk out, become a dragon to do stuff for a little while, and then you go back to your man. So you're still a dragon, but you're like in the shape of a man. And one of the factions of dragons did not like that at all. They said, this is bullshit. I'm going to go insane and kill everyone like I want. Yeah. And that happened. The Earth Dragon, except for one, all went insane and kill everyone. So the Divine Dragons beat them up and sealed them all in the rectangle that they put Zod in at the end of Superman.
In the Phantom Zone.
The Phantom Zone variants?
Yeah.
The Phantom Zone, good. Okay. They put on the Phantom Zone. And there's this big shield with gems on it. That's the titular Fire Emblem, and that's the seal for the Phantom Zone. And then some guy shows up and is like, "Look at this shiny loot. This is mine now." And he takes it and rips all the gems off and sells them. Uses the money to found this kingdom. And then X number of generations later, actually, we're a really holy and important kingdom, don't you know? And anyway, one of their Lord.
Yeah, based in Redfield. That's how you do it. That's historically accurate.
You get the gold, and then first thing you do once you have it, you start lying. And then you don't stop. You stay on your one story until their kids are dead, and it's the kids' kids, and they're hearing about it, and they don't know no better. And then by the end of it, that's right, it's very cool. And the king, his dick isn't small at all, actually.
Yeah,
everyone knows.
And Marth is a cool guy, and he doesn't know anything about stealing.
Yeah.
So Marth is our hero. The hero is always a lord, even when they're not a lord. They're still a lord. They just don't know it yet.
That's one of the titular like emblematic things of Fire Emblem. There's always a unit called the Lord, who the other units are the lackeys.
He's
or
he can't die if he died to get a game over.
Yeah.
He has to. He's your wave condition, especially in the older games. The way you end the map is by capturing the castle, and only the Lord can capture the castle.
It's like your king in chess.
Yeah.
Yes. Very accurate.
This is how the game is won.
So one of the Earth Dragons decided to be a cool guy and seal himself as a human, and he's been keeping watch over the Parallax Space Phantom Zone Shrine, just doing his job.
Yeah.
And he's just been sitting there and seeing the humans are mean to the dragon men, persecuting them. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. You're gonna hear me say that at least 6 or 7 more times tonight.
They persecute the dragon one?
Anytime there's anyone different, the humans are mean to them.
Yeah.
There's multiple kinds of different, and the humans are always mean to
Just
them.
because we were giant
Yeah.
flying dinosaurs that were going insane and eating it all the time?
In general, looking for a TLDR, the villain is either a dragon or man or both. Sometimes it's both. It's usually both. Yeah. And a couple of the dragons are still kicking around. Like there's one of the divine dragons got left behind trying to help people, and he follows Marth around, helping him out, telling him what to do. He had a student who he had two students, and one of them was the number 2 student, and he was jealous, and so he steals one of the side gems from the shield, and it turns him all evil. And he's basically another recurring theme is that basically the Emperor from Star Wars is in like 5 or 6 feet.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah, and so he turned into the Emperor from Star Wars, and he frees that Earth Dragon, and the Earth Dragon kind of fucks shit up. And the Earth Dragon Medius, the villain, he tries to eradicate the hero bloodline that beat him once, and he fails to do that completely. And Marth gets the special sword that's like a tooth of one of like the big dragon that everyone works with as a god. And it's the Falchion. It's his special sword that his line can use. And again, that will come up later because like 5 of the games are on this continent. And it's pretty basic game. I mean, it fits in a lot of the elements we discussed. Doesn't have supports where like the units know each other. Doesn't have weapon durability, I don't think. Doesn't have the weapon triangle. Doesn't have the rescue command. It's like missing a lot of that stuff. But there are some series staples like one of Marth's loyal retain. There's like classes and level ups, and some classes that can promote. And one of Marth's loyal retainers is a pre-promote. He's this old guy Jaden. He's an old knight. And Jagan starts out stronger than everyone else, but has crappy stat growth. His stats start high, but don't increase. And that's, I think every Fire Emblem game has had that guy. Sometimes keeping the balance of that guy just right has been kind of hard. Historically, there's a lot of impetus for it to be a horse guy. Having a horse in general is mechanically too strong in most of the Fire Emblem games. They've tried to put some downsides in for having a horse, like it makes you force dismount in some of the games. But for the most part, having a horse is just awesome.
It's like in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it makes you better.
Yeah.
So they beat the dragon. Marth wins. He gets the girl.
Yay!
Unless the girl died because you're a badge wearer, he doesn't get the girl. Yeah, you can't trade items. Enemies will always attack Marth all the time. The story is clunky. You don't get XP for stay. There's no weapon triangle, like I said. Most classes can't promote. Some can. There's no magic growth. It's
Was this the original Nintendo?
it came out for the NES in 1990.
Oh my god.
Yeah. They made a sequel because more people bought it than they thought would buy that.
Yeah.
They made a sequel, Fire Emblem Gaiden, FE2. I have not played this one. I've only played the remake.
Well,
And the remake is like faithful, but I haven't played the original one for the NES. So my timeline might be remake chain.
yeah.
And
This is your chance to really get under the armor plates,
Yeah.
really dig that knife around.
tell me I'm a mushmouth moron.
Yeah, playing the remake.
Yeah, that's right. So, a long time ago, before the event that happened in Fire Emblem 1, the Divine Dragons the dragons weren't degenerating, and everything was all cool, except the number 2 pair of dragons that worked for the big number 1 dragon, Naga, got upset at the humans. I forget why, but they got upset at the humans, and they tried to fight and lost, and they got banished to his other continent, Valentia, which is in the same continuity as the first game, but just somewhere else. Over the ocean, somewhere else. And that's why people are banished, and they end up being like...
You've been banished to the spin-off continent.
Yeah, to the spin-off continent. I think Gaiden literally means like side story or something.
It does, yeah.
So they're literally banished to the side story. And they end up kind of being the founding impetus behind these 2 nations that are fighting. One is war, one is peace, sort of, but they took it too far. There's a different sword here, also called the Falchion, but it's not the same one. It's made from a different tooth from the dragon that's the big important dragon, Naga, because both the swords are made from one of its teeth. There was a lot of teeth. I imagine when the shark dragon just has shark teeth. That's how
Yeah, that adds
Even
up.
if they don't have shark teeth, they're still rocking more than 2. There's a mouthful.
They got a maw. Yeah.
What if they're like whales? But
Bristles.
they have balines, but they're all like really thick dragon fangs. Like their mouths
terrifying.
are bursting with teeth.
Like a lamprey.
Yeah.
And so there's two protagonists, Celica and Alm, and I wish that like we could put up the art for these people because the like how I was introduced to them and their original art were made more than 20 years apart. And let me tell you, art styles have changed a lot in that time.
Yeah. That adds up.
But they're like the different eras, the different kingdoms, and there's like a civil war, and one of the nations takes advantage of the civil war and invades the other. And the king that invades, he reveals, actually, Alm, you're secretly my son. Everyone is secretly a lord. Even when you're not a lord, you're a lord. You just don't know it yet.
If you're being played in this game by somebody, you're going to turn out to be a lord.
And Kreia style, the king that invaded, the evil king you've been fighting against, said, actually, you're my son. This was all a test. Here's this cool sword. One of the gods is inside the sword. Can you put the other one here too? I did this all to make sure you were strong enough to fight the god. Go do it. And he fights the god, and they go do it. And they win, and they combine the countries, and everyone's happily ever after.
So implicitly, they're like soldiers that have like, slaughtered villages.
Oh, yeah.
Being like, well, sorry, we have to test the prince.
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
Oh, they have no, nobody gave this. Nobody gave this.
Oh, fuck. Those were the days.
Those were the days, yeah. We seen that comic where it's like Advance Wars, and they're like drinking beers, and it cuts the person like screaming into the sky.
We refer to it all the time.
Yeah, war is hell.
The war is hell is what we call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically that. So mechanically, there's branching promotions introduced here, which is where like you can be this kind of, you can upgrade this way or that way. You want to have sword, sword. You get access to sword, the lance, something like that. In most of the games that I've played, you upgrade with items. In this one, you upgrade at places, at shrines. They added an extra tier promotion on top. So like, you start out as like a guy with a sword, then turning into like a cool, better guy with a sword, and then you're like an old blind master of the sword, at the last kind of thing.
Like your opponent.
And there are a few classes that are basically like reoccurring throughout a lot of the final games. Like the sword master is typically like a lightly armored guy who uses a sword with two hands and is like kind of like a Jedi and like is like
I don't like a Jedi.
Yeah, like
kind of like a Jedi.
And how they like look and like act, they're almost like a sword sage kind of character. And then there's typically the heavy knight will be like some guy in full plate, typically with an axe or a spear. Like there's like a lot of like pretty archetypical Fire Emblem classes that are really reoccurring.
Yeah.
This one is more RPG in the sense that like the first game is a series of maps that you have to clear linked by a story. The second game is like there's a world map, you can go around it and you can like go into the villages and shit and talk to people. And there aren't supports, not really, but there's like the ghost of that where like Celica and Alm know each other. So like if they're near each other, they get support boxes. Like they have support, but you can't do anything to grow it. You should. Fire Emblem 3 is the first one for Super Nintendo, and it's straight up a remake of the first game. There's 2 books. And like the first book is just a truncated, like a shortened remake of the first game. And the second book is the actual sequel. Marth is still the main character. Again, there's the support thing, where if your characters know each other in the story and you've been paying attention, you put them near each other, they get a little stab on. Because you've been paying attention, you know they're friends. You can't influence that. That comes later. That comes in the next game, in fact. But they're going to be friends. Anyway, the first game had this guy who was one of your friend nobles. And in the second game, he gets a little bit overzealous and starts like fucking shit up. And Marth questions him and he's like, what, you betrayed me? Get out of here. And then the guy who's been guiding you from the first game is like, oh, he touched the turn evil stone and turned evil. We got to stop him. Because damn him. Yeah, damn him. Yeah. Basically, remember how I said that guy stole the rocks off the Fire Emblem shield? Yeah, those rocks are all important. One of them has got evil inside. There's an evil one and a good one and some other ones. He touched the evil one and made him evil.
We made them to contain many things. We did, unfortunately, make this one to contain the evil.
And remember, the Emperor from the first game, he, tricked your friend into taking the evil stone, so he turns evil. And then the Emperor from the first game. I don't mean like the Emperor as a title. I mean the Emperor from Star Wars.
The
See,
Palpatine in the face, ass. Yeah.
He kidnaps every love interest at the same time to use them to revive the dragon from the first game. And Mark has to go around and collect some of the other rocks from the shield, and they beat the Emperor, and they get the sword again, and they free their friend, and now the dragon is back, and he's even more evil than before, and they whip his ass. Before the dragon is trying to let his crazy Earth dragon friends out of the Phantom Zone, but they whip his ass, and they put all the rocks back on the shield and free all love interests, and
the Fire Emblem is saved.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks to the power up. And this one goes back to more traditional. There's no world map, and this one has. Early on, they did this thing where they forced if you had a mount, you would be forced dismounted indoors. You couldn't run your mount in castle levels, which is maybe not the most elegant way.
Yeah.
To do that, but like there's one of the things in this series is that you have a horse or you fly around, you're just better than everyone else.
Yeah, mounted units.
So there should be some balancing thing.
I mean, you can't exactly ride a horse through a village.
Like I haven't played the other Fire Emblem games, but something I've heard from people who have played them. Yeah, the Pegasus Knights are almost always one of the strongest units. Yeah. That and the Wyvern Knights are almost always one of the strongest.
Anything on a horse is awesome. Anything on a horse, because like they added these abilities later where like Canto, where if you use like you get like spring attack from 3.5 basically. Most teams don't get spring attack, but flyers and orbs get spring attack.
Yeah, so basically, typically you move your unit and then you fight, and that's the end of what they do. With Canto, you can move, fight, and they do the rest of your move.
Yeah,
and there's no disengaging attacks. You opportunity attacks.
Because the horse
then just fuck off.
They're just like,
howdy ho, lads. Yeah. And
run out.
And the horse guys are better at picking up your people. I think it's in the fourth game they added the rescue command to predict your people. So horses are not only longer movement, not only better at rescuing people, but also there's no penalty. They can do Canto as well. Like the horses and flying things just kind of kick ass.
Yeah.
And how do you get Pegasus modes? Do you just like get a guy who's so good at being like a horse guy?
Yeah,
get a lady who's being a horse lady?
Yeah, they'll just be will be what their classes. Like you just recruit them. And a lot of times it'll be like diverging paths will give you different units. And like one of them will just be the Pegasus rider, and then they're just better than everybody else.
I know that this is missing the point. What could possibly be the lore explanation of, I got so good at riding this horse, it grew wings.
You're thinking too out of too hard.
I'm sure there's an answer, and I didn't read it.
The answer is shut up.
Yeah, the answer is shut up. So, Fire Emblem 4. People jack off to this game.
This is the one I hear the most people praising.
I played
Genealogy of the Holy War.
Yeah, this is in Japan only. I played like a fan translation. Pretty cool.
So I went to a panel at MagFest, and the guy there was glazing this game. And he was explaining how this is actually around the time they were considering porting Fire Emblem over to the Americas. And the people at Nintendo America were like really into it. Like, okay, we like the series, like what we're seeing. And then they started looking into it a little more deeply. And they said, and I quote, "What do you mean there's incest?"
Well, there's incest.
You better believe there's
Trick incest.
You guys love that. Back to the Future was huge.
Apparently that really turned off the American folks.
I had not known that.
And then that's one reason Fire Emblem took so long to come to the Americans.
I had not known that.
Yeah.
Okay, so FE4 is wildly more complicated. I truncated a lot of stuff, like for those first three.
Yeah.
This one is like some Game of Thrones shit. So FE4,
right the end.
FE4 and 5 take place in Jugdrall, which is I think it's the same continent as Arcanea, but it's like 1,000 years before that.
Jugdrall is what I would call like a hick town and like a
Jugdrall.
Yeah. Welcome to Jugdrall. We don't have postal service.
So 1,000 years ago, like the dragons and the humans were both there, and there wasn't like what do we do? Like, you're kind of they weren't sure what to do yet. There's the Earth Healing War going on that I mentioned, and one of the Earth Dragons realizes, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose this back. And it's an Earth Dragon called Loptus, and he figured out I can like do like a blood giving. I can give dragon blood, my cool magic dragon blood, to this guy, and I like sort of my power will live on in him, and I can use that till I get resurrected. And that's like the major, one of the big new mechanics in Fire Emblem 4 that comes back later is like dragon blood, holy blood that you can have, and there's like different weapons associated with it. Like there's, and if you like, having different holy bloods, major and minor, gives you stat bonuses, but like you need to be the descendant of this guy, as shown by your holy blood, to use the special weapons in this game. You need to be this descendant, that descendant, and that's part of the structure of the game.
DNA.
That's part of the structure of the game. It's a 2-act game, and how you pair your units up in the first act determines what units you get in the second.
And this is why they call it Eugenics Simulator.
Eugenics Simulator,
Because some people have magical dragon blood and some people don't. Therefore, eugenics.
And then you also why
There
there
is
is
incest, yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So that dragon avoided being completely sealed by kind of hiding his power in those guys' bloodline, and he worked with that guy / as that guy to kind of make a church dedicated to him, with him as a god, him the dragon, and an empire, and they ruled the whole continent. And he was like having children sacrificed to him for fun, and just not a good guy.
You know what you do. That's what you do when you're a dragon.
And after many generations of this, the Naga, the leader of the good dragons, realized like, oh fuck, look what this guy's been doing. That's not good. And
have you been having an entire fucking Sodom and Gomorrah back here?
yeah, holy shit. So they realized what he did, and they came down, and Naga and 11 other divine dragons gave their, or oh, divine dragons, Naga and 11 other dragons gave their blood, different heroes, did kind of a similar thing with them. And so that's why there's like a bunch of different kinds of holy blood. They have this holy blood and that holy blood. There's shitloads of kinds.
Right.
All kinds. And
a bad kind of
yeah. And there is a bad kind. There is the bad kind. The bad kind is locked here. That's the evil dragon
who figured this out.
And with their new dragon blood, they beat that empire up, and they beat their church up, but they don't fully get rid of them, and the church lives on as a cult. And they thought they stamped out the whole bloodline, but they failed, because prior to this, one of the children of that bloodline, who had only minor blood, so half of the DNA you need to make the evil god come back, did like a rebellion and got kicked out. And he has half the blood, and all the people in his line know that they have that evil demon blood in them, and so they go to live in the forests where they only have one kid every generation, so that it can't double up and come back until one doesn't agree to that.
Ruining the whole system.
Ruining everything. And the one doesn't do that, and she leaves and has 2 kids, and then we begin. You are Sigurd. You are a noble of Grandvale, which is, there's 8 kingdoms, and the 12 guys with the Holy Blood all founded kingdoms, and I think 5 or 6 of them came together to be Grandvale, the biggest one. And that's you're one of the dukes, one of the 5, like, you're not the king, but you're like one of the dukes, one of the 5 guy descendants.
One of the family.
Yeah. And gosh, Sigurd is, remember how I said Jagan earlier? There's
Pre-promote.
Yeah, pre-promote. The guy you start out with, who is usually on a horse and who is a pre-promote, who starts out one class here, but everyone else. This time is you, Sigurd the hero, who is also like the guy who captures things, is on a horse and whips major ass the entire game. So like the main character is just like is a total ass beater, and instead of having to escort your lord to the end, he is the escort. He whips that.
I'll get my army to the end, one way or the other.
And he's like mid-90s anime styled in the drawings, so he has like a weird not pompadour, like there's a Fuji, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
He rules. Sigurd rules. And basically, and this is, good God, this is a simplification, but a lot of Game of Thrones things occur, like early Game of Thrones books, where it's very complicated and political machinations, and basically a new and different Palpatine, who is the leader of the cult, the Loptier cult, is working behind the scenes, and the entire book 1 of Fire Emblem 4, while you go through and fuck shit up, you are doing everything he wants to do and playing right into his hands, setting things up for the villain to succeed. And remember that lady that had those 2 children?
Yeah.
One of them is another one of the Grandvale nobles. This is a guy, Arvis. And while you're out as Sigurd, you're wandering around the woods fighting people. This lady comes out of the woods and says, hey, like, I like you, but like we can't get together because I have this curse, and if I have kids, bad stuff will happen. And Sigurd, who knows that magic exists, says, nah, that's bullshit. That's not real. That's not real. That's bullshit.
And miss me with that bullshit.
And so Sigurd has a child. Sigurd has a child with that lady. And then the cult leader sneaks up and steals his wife one day and wipes her mind and drops her off in front of Arvis, who is her half brother. And nobody knows that. Yeah. And he sees like the amnesia woman and is like, huh, like this is a pretty lady, and gets to like her.
Yeah. I am into MILFs.
And they get married and have 2 children, Julia and Julius. And Julia has full Naga blood, which is the big good dragon, number 1.
Yeah.
And Julius has full Loptier blood.
Oh, yeah.
That's not good. That one's supposed to happen again. And
oh my god, we're back again.
Arvis tricks Sigurd, betrays him. Sigurd fucking dies, but not before. Sigurd also had a kid with that lady, and also, depending on how you pair your units up, they all had a kid with that lady. And also, like, your cousins or your brother or something has some kid. I had a kid called Leaf. We'll get to Leaf later. And so 17 years pass while
people are just fucking this lady like crazy. Just pop her out.
Now, once Julius is old enough to read, the cult leader is like, hey, you should have this totally not cursed book. And he opens up the cursed book, and that's the ritual is complete. He activates him. Now all the blood inside and the book, it's the dragon god is back. Loptus is back. He did it. And their empire, and now Granvale, the side that you helped in the first, that you worked for in the first act, in the second act, is fully evil, and they're sacrificing kids again. And some of the characters that survived the first act, who have been raising Sigurd's son, Selif, in secret, and then all the child units you created going on the second act, and they have to fight to save the world from that. And when I played this game, like I said earlier, all of my children were fucking sick, and this was like a steamroll for me.
Yeah.
And there's like items you can inherit too. I inherited all the good items. And so Stelik was strong as fuck. It was really easy for me.
I've been training these little bastards for years, just for this moment.
Yeah, and I really liked the you have to go back to it basically just reverse tweet the same map. Like a really good idea, really cool, and really liked it. That's the other thing about Fire Emblem 4 is that the maps are fucking large. Fire Emblem 4 is not like this little tactical skirmish between my guys. The guys are meant to represent like armies, and you fight on a map that like this is the entire country, and you have to capture the whole country by knocking over all the castles.
Yeah.
And if you lose your castle, you lose. And that's one of the other reasons Sigurd is so good, because the maps are fucking big, and Sigurd can move a lot. Because
horsey.
Yeah. So you fight back against the bad guys. The church is back. Lopus is back. The Empire, Granvale, they're evil now. Some people are secretly nobles. Oh yeah. By the way,
everyone in that village finally says, "Okay, that's it. Now celibacy now. Not even one. Okay, guys, not even one."
Right before this Act 2 kicks off, Fire Emblem 5 occurs. That guy I mentioned, Leaf, who is Selip's cousin, goes on a small rebellion in one of the regions, and we'll get to that game. That's a different game.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Selif and Arvis. And Arvis, who is the one who betrays you from Act 1, and who is the dad of the now Demon King, kind of realizes what he's done. He's like, oh shit, I died the whole Satan. I done it. So yeah, and he finds out about the incest thing too at some point, and like he finds out about the incest, and I was and he's like, well, I love her anyway. I'm not gonna tell her. I don't want to ruin it for her. And then he realizes like, oh shit, like all that apology stuff was real. I fucked up, and so he's kind of like in the second act, he like kind of helps hide some of the children from the sacrifices, and he also like sends one of his dudes out to low-key stealth deliver Selif, the cool sword, that tier thing that Sigurd had in the first act. His holy blood weapon, his Locat's rank weapon.
Remember the weapon that you used on the first part?
Yeah.
Sigurd?
And it's back.
You can have it again.
And the only thing that can kill the Loptus now is someone who has, basically does the reverse thing, where they have full Naga blood and gets the Naga blood. And then they could undo him if they do that.
Right.
And the only person they know who was like that is Julia. Julia's his sister. And
She can't read.
this weird thing happens where the person who can't read is Manfroy, the cult leader, because Julius and Julius / Loptus get a hold of Julia, and they're like, okay, we're going to kill her now and make sure my only weakness is destroyed. And Manfroy is like, no, hold on, boss, wait a minute. What if instead of doing that, we don't do that? I think it would be really funny if we mind controlled her and sent her to attack them. I think that would be hilarious.
Just creating their Achilles heel.
Yeah.
So your pitch is, let me get this straight. We give her back.
Yeah. So she rolls up and she's like, I'm going to kill you. And Seliph goes and walks right around her and goes and kills Manfroy instead, which stops the magic because it was his magic. And then they go and they find out that Arvis had set Julia up to inherit the Naga book herself. And because she has the thing, it opens the thing and she gets the book. And they go and they fight and they win. The end.
So it's such a fucking great
So his
plan.
pitch was Dr. Evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just, I have a gun in my room. I'll shoot you right now.
I have a gun in my room.
No. I'm just going to lower it into the trap and assume everything goes to plan with this
Literally,
stellar, really easy power.
I know these are. I also like. What if it went well? She runs up on him like with what she has a sword, and then like Sigurd, who has never seen combat, obviously. So presumably he catches her wrist, and then they just have her now.
Yeah. Seliph is done, but yeah.
Seliph, yeah. Seliph, like that's just giving her back.
Yeah.
Best case scenario.
Not the best plan.
It's giving her back while also taking like a pot shot, but otherwise it's just giving her back. If they had killed her, this would all be
there'd be no more. Yeah, they'd have won. So, like I said, the maps are huge in this game. That's the first thing anyone will say about it. And it's kind of like this is the one that made Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem. A lot of the mechanics got added. They added skills, and skills are either personal or class based. And skills are like one of the really good ones is Astra, which is like you have like a low percent chance, a skill stat percent chance to attack 5 times this turn. Or like if you're of the super armor class, you have a skill percent chance to just armor up and take no damage this turn.
Right.
And some of them are personal, some of them are like blood based, and some of them are class based.
It's like Pokemon abilities. Everything will be filtered through my understanding of Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon Go. They added a new. They added the support system basically as it exists in the modern games, where like you can pair your units up and like have them talk to each other by having them end their turn next to each other on adjacent tiles, like X number of times, Y number of times. They'll have these little conversations and they'll like each other more. And as they like each other more, not only do they get stat bonuses for being near each other, like how Select and Alm did in the last game in 2, and in 3, how it worked in 3, but also like you can manipulate, you can put the people you want together based on like what they like and don't like, and you can pair people up that way. And so not only do you get the stat bonuses out of this, but because this is a 2-generation game, like several of the games are now, a lot of the modern games are 2-generation games, you get to have your little children as a result of it. So like that's like a major.
So I genuinely
that saved the series. Sorry, Brian.
Before we started talking about this, I genuinely didn't understand how the game was justifying in any way that your characters, who by all rights are anime children by and large, how they have fully fighting children that you can produce and maintain. I'm like, do they just like, you ended the turn on the same space, so
there's a time gap.
Now there's a new man that's just walking around. That's their son Justin. He's 2 years old, and his specialty is spears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically that.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was a time skip element.
Yeah.
That really clears some things up for me.
And so that's what saved the series is like the life sim stuff, like the pairing your units together sim style and having little tea party conversations where they get to know each other and everyone, I want to see the conversation that these two have with each other.
It's cute. That's the Fujos love it.
There's a lot more of Tony than there is a Rob.
Yep. Big Tony, the insufferable tide of Big Tony.
That's like leaning back into that in the later games is what saved the series. That's the thing. This game didn't sell very well. Fire Emblem 4 didn't sell very well. Gosh, what else? I don't want to go off it too soon. A lot of the early games like had a thing like replacing units where like there were a lot of units that were only a lot of things people like to do in the modern game is I want to catch them all. I want to get all the possible guys because they have different conditions for getting them. Like some of them are secret. And one of the I think in Radiant Dawn or Path of Radiance, there's one unit, and the only way you can get him is you have to march one of two specific guys to an unmarked tile in the desert at the other end of the map, and they have to stand there. Like there's no. I learned about that on the internet. Like there's no way to find that.
Just randomly, just set
Yeah.
over there, and then a man just comes. So you knew the meeting place.
Yeah,
I will join
exactly,
you.
exactly. And in the early games, you get those units by like if you fuck up, everybody dies. It'll generate more guys for you. There's more guys you have access to that are backing you up. That's true with Fire Emblem 4 as well.
If you just make a new game, idiot.
If you have a loveless army of angry incels and no one has ever paired up, it just generates children for you to have.
Ooh, that's
sad.
Yeah.
There's no love in that playthrough.
I don't think that can be lore justified. I certainly hope not.
This is when they added the weapon triangle with Fire Emblem 4, the Rock Paper Scissors formula. And they added it. They added the arena, which would come back later. Like villages you can save. A lot of stuff. Meanwhile, Leaf. Remember that guy I mentioned? That's his cousin. Well, I didn't know this part. I had to read about this on the internet. Fire Emblem 5 is called Thracia 776, and the book 2 of FE4 starts in 777. A year before that, his cousin Leaf is out in a different province doing much smaller, more traditional map chapter Fire Emblem. Because people were like, what is this conquering the whole planet world shit? This is too big. Make it smaller again.
Yeah.
They made it smaller again. And that game, I have not played it, but I watched him play it. So I need to play that game at some point. It looks balls hard to me. This game came out for a download service for the SNES.
What?
Japan had a download service. Yeah. It got a box release eventually, but the initial release was a download service. Not only that, this came out for the SNES 3 years after this N64 was out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a whole service thing for like a good amount of years, but it was like obviously, like 100 people got it, so it was.
That's like avant-garde technology at the time.
But
that's crazy. I had no idea the SNES had it.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. It was we've been doing this shit for a long time, or at least Japan.
So right before Book 2, you have Fire Emblem 5, and Leaf takes back his home territory in a smaller scale series of battles from the now evil Granville and Arvis, their leader. And he gets it back and wins. And then he shows up to help Seliph in his story. So, you already knew he won. Or he didn't win, but he lived, which is pretty good. And then they fired the creator. I'm not exactly sure if it's I quit or I'm not fired, I quit, or like, but it definitely wasn't good.
Yeah,
There was a schism.
Yeah.
this wasn't I guess I'm gonna do this. You should have this guy take over it. And they're like, well, we hate to see you go. And he's like, I'm gonna go write about incest. And they're like, Godspeed.
The original creator, Shozo Kaida, they fired him, or he quit, and he went on to found his own studio called Tirna Nog, which is like a place where fairies are in Welsh mythology or something, but also is the name of a little town where Seliph hid for 17 years learning to be the Fire Emblem Lord. And they made a game called Tearing Saga, and then they made a 1.5 version of it called Berwick Saga, neither of which I have played. But I understand they retain a lot of the more complex mechanics that FE5 added, and they added even more complexity on that. Like I said, FE4 and 5 did not sell well.
But
FE5 being entirely in the context of an already not well-selling game is like, huh.
Yeah.
FE5 had weird stuff in it, like every time your units moved or attacked, it built up a fatigue bar, and so you couldn't like just use one unit to solo everything. And it kept the mounted units must dismount inside thing, and it also I understand that in Tearing Saga he solved the mount problem by making your horse had HP, so you can't just send your mount out to fuck it up. If he gets hit wrong, his horse fucking die. Not anymore, asshole.
Yeah, now you get a walk.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I don't like that mechanic. That's so sad.
Yeah, when I heard about that, I was like, oh, how about this one? That's a little much.
The horse he had permadeath too.
I think you can get more on it.
Oh. I know that Fire Emblem has permadeath for units
Until it doesn't.
until it doesn't. But like, it'd be hilarious if like, no, that was a good unit. He had a really good horse. Maybe you'll find another horse one day.
Snowball, no!
The FE5 has one of my favorite things in the series, a thing that I like the concept of so much, capture, where you basically take a 50% penalty to all your stats and you fight a guy, and if you beat him, instead of killing him, you capture him. And it works like works like the rescue mechanic, except instead of an allied unit, it's an enemy unit, and you can open up crate with him and just empty his inventory out into yours if you want. Thanks, that's bosses and all that cool shit.
All right, so your choices are: you may join our army or simply be robbed and left naked to die in this field.
Just like real war.
But you could just have blue armor like us.
And they added Gaiden chapters, which are like an optional thing that if you meet the conditions, you do this fast enough. If you save all the villagers, like you get an extra chapter where cool bonus stuff happens. I think they introduced that. Well, so the old games had that, but they were like a penalty. Like I said, where if all your guys died, you had a Gaiden chapter where 3 more guys show up because you don't have any priests left for you idiot.
Yeah.
And they also like kind of cameos happened where like could happen at the same time as FE4, like some characters show up from that.
Yeah.
And like just Arvis shows up and is like, haha, I'm mysteriously regretful, haha, like that kind of thing.
You'll have to go to the spin-off continent.
Yes, I understand that they're making an N64 Fire Emblem that got canceled, and like they used some of the scraps of that to make the GBA game FE6. That's a thing that I read while looking into this. I never heard that before. Cool if true.
I hear Fire Emblem N64, and I'm imagining essentially Marth in original. Blocky, yeah, polygonal, like just sort of chibi.
Like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. Almost exactly, but more like Super Mario 64, the big head.
Yeah.
And so they fire the guy, and they make Fire Emblem 6 for the Game Boy Advance. This is the one with Roy in it. Roy is the Lord in Fire Emblem 6. And let me tell you, Roy kind of sucks. Roy is
the worst sword, I'm told.
Roy is a sword-only unit in a game where, like, spears and axes both have access to, like, there's a spear that's throwable spear and a throwable axe. So, like, enemies will try to engage you if they can. If you're like an archer, they'll try to run up and melee you so that you can arch them back. If you only have one range, they'll try to range you. And so having a lot of killing occurs in the Game Boy Advance games on the enemy's turn.
Yeah.
Because there's like a lot of units and like that are attacking you. And so like you'll slowly get chipped down and can't fight back without access to 1-2 range. You want to have variable range a lot in these games. And swords just don't fucking have that.
Right.
There's rare magic swords that have 1-2 range, but those aren't like, you don't swing that. The animation is your guy lifts the sword up and magic hits them. It does a flat amount of non-scaling damage. It doesn't scale off his strength. They're not swinging it. So not only are those shitty, they're also rare as hell. And so Roy is not only on foot, he's only sword. And he gets a really, really awesome weapon. He gets the titular Binding Blade, the best legendary weapon. But the problem is that Roy promotes on like the third to last map in the game. So even if you train him up, like he's just so hard to use, man. Roy is not a good lord. Basically, Fire Emblem 6 is a game where you take your horsemen and your flying men and you ferry Roy around to locations like they show for exactly. So they kick the crater out. We're starting over. That stuff from before, none of that matters. Forget all that. There's no more Arcanea. There's no more Fire Emblem Shield. There's no more Phantom Zone until there is again.
Well, okay.
Yeah, there's a different Okay.
We're having a soft reset.
It's a soft reset. So it's also a lot easier. The note section I had for FE4 was like 5 times the size of the note section I had for the next game. These are so simple. Fire Emblem 6, the Binding Blade. There used to be humans and dragons. They fought. 8 special people had 8 special weapons plus the Binding Blade. And when they went to go fight the dragon with their 8 special weapons, the Clash did like a magical calamity, and that ruined everything and powered down magic. And that's why all the dragons got turned into Maticates in this continuity. Instead of who are going insane, they did it because they don't have the natural ambient magic just be a dragon all the time anymore.
Right.
They can only sometimes be a dragon when they really need it.
It's like heaven isn't enough oxygen in the atmosphere to support giant insects.
Exactly. So now exactly like that. So now all the dragons are gone, pretty much for the most part. And 1,000 years later, and the world is populated by 8 nations, founded by the 8 different people who have a cool weapon.
Yeah.
And then the biggest one, the one to the east, the one that specializes in wyverns, invades all the other ones.
Every political disagreement being like, we don't like the way you govern, and you're like, I think we're forgetting who has the magical axe.
Exactly. And so the king invades everything, and he's messing shit up. And you, as Roy, are one of like the minor nobles of like the country that you're from. You're all the ancestor like of one guy, and it's put in a 3 smaller countries that all work together and they're friends. And you have to run away because they're burning shit down. And the king and his sister are like the 2 major characters. The bad king and his sister, Zephiel and Guinevere, are the 2 major characters. And Zephiel captures Guinevere, but the best unit in the game, Melody, is Guinevere's retainer, and she flies off with her to you. And Melody rules when you get her. She's so fucking sick. She's like, one of the things about FE6 is that the roster is huge, and a lot of the units are bad. There are bad units in FE6. I mean, you can make them work, but they suck ball. The other thing about FE6 is, even though it's the game that introduced the 2RN system, things in FE6 just are not consistent. Like, the plus hit on weapons is not high. Like, the way the math works out so that, like, I have a displayed 70% chance to connect with this attack is normal. In the later games, like, the hits are much more, like, hitty. Like, there's more plus hit on weapons. And, like, the way the formulas work is a little different. So, like, there's... FE6, like, is a game I had to play with save states because there's just, like, the odds that your attack hit are not high enough to make consistent plans.
Right. Yeah, it's difficult to strategize when there's such a variable of, like, this attack that needs to land only has a 70% chance of landing, which means 30% of the time, because almost a third of the time, it's just not going to happen. You lose.
It's such a ball.
That's so annoying. That's so fucking annoying.
But it's much simpler. There isn't like too much of the, this person tricked that person. It's, the big country invades, and you got to go around and you got to collect all the special Divine 8 weapons from the 8 founders and go, and to get those, they're all gotten in Gaiden chapters, which you have to unlock by, like, clear this map fast enough, get all the stuff on this map, don't let this guy die, that kind of thing. And then you go on and you fight. The political stuff happens. You take the fight to that big king, Roy Grimothy, to kick his ass. He has the last of the divine weapons. And if you then have all the divine weapons and get all the optional chapters and didn't let any weapon wielders die, you then get the real ending where you get 2 more chapters and you find out that
the incest did happen.
Incest did happen. Okay, so it turns out that, like, at some point in the war, dragons started showing up on the side of the big invaded kingdom. Everyone's like, what the fuck? How did he do that?
Yeah.
Well, one of the really big god dragons got, like, captured or stayed behind and didn't join the war and had its soul destroyed to be turned into, like, a artificial dragon making factory. And you find out about that, and you go and you beat up the dragon that did it to him, or the dragon that was administering him, and you go and you save, you either, I think it's optional, you either kill or save that dragon, and then the epilogue implies it gets better afterward.
Thank you for saving me. Now let's all go home.
Anyway, the King Zephiel thinks that all the humans suck, and he decides he's going to let the dragon kill all of them. And the reason that Zephiel thinks that all the humans suck is because of what happens in the next game, which is the 20-year prequel, and also the first one to come out in America. So the first American localized game is a prequel to another game that has all these references that no American child ever understood.
Well, you see, this is the prequel to the soft reboot of the game that already had 5 entries in it, 2 of which were already told non-consecutively.
So they added, there's Canto for mounted knights, there's no force dismounting inside, there's no fatigue system, no character system, the 2RN system, all that stuff. And then you go to the prequel, and remember how I said that they had to go and find all the sealed weapons that were sealed for 1,000 years? Okay, actually, no, that was a lie. I lied about that. Because in the prequel, they go and they get some of those too, because remember those, so they have to get them. So, like, one of those heroes stayed alive the entire time, and he's like an old white-beard wizard man, and he's like 1 million years old. And he goes to, like, weird ghost spirit guy who's guarding the weapons, and he's like, "Hey, bro, can I borrow them?"
Just real quick, I'll put them back. In 20 years, they're going to be really useful.
Yeah.
And people dump on the writing for this game a lot. Or maybe the translation is bad. I don't know. Prequels are hard, dude.
Yeah.
Prequel, like I've always thought that, like making a satisfying prequel that doesn't like let the air out of the first one isn't like trite. That's hard, man.
It is very difficult, mostly because the reason that the story started where it started was because that's the best version of the story. Everything that happened before that couldn't support the story.
Right. In this game, you are Roy's dad's generation. The heroes are Hector, Eliwood, and Lynn. Eliwood and Hector are two of the nobles from the country that Roy is from, and Lynn is like one of the countries is like the Native American Plains people, and she's like a princess of that.
The Japanese, they do that sometimes,
and possibly the mother of some of the characters from the second or from six. Anyway, either because this was going to be localized to America, or it was localized to America because of this. The first arc of the game, the first third of the game or so, is Lynn's arc, which is a tutorial arc, where you do like a small scale thing, like, oh, trouble is brewing, but really we're doing politics right now. But that's the main story of FE7. Again, they get a lot simpler. There's no more Game of Thrones. It's much simpler. Yeah. And the story of FE7 is, broadly speaking, this guy, one of the dragons didn't go away. And this guy banged the dragon.
Of course he did.
And he had 2 kids with the dragon. And then something bad happened to the dragon. And so, like, he sent the dragons back to the Phantom Zone portal, which is here. There is the Phantom Zone portal, but it's a different Phantom Zone portal. And the shield and the gems are not involved in any way. Don't ask about the shield.
So
it takes their Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Then what is the Fire Emblem? It's a whole other thing.
Okay.
That doesn't matter.
I don't think there is the fire, or I forget what the Fire Emblem is in FE7. It's like a throwaway thing. It doesn't matter. So the guy was butthurt his dragon liked his dad, and he wanted to get his dragon kids at the Phantom Zone. So he starts studying like dark magic to get power. And one of the things in this continuity is if you do too much dark magic, it slowly erases your humanity until you forget who you were. And over time, he figured out that you could just like break living things down to get life energy and do stuff with it.
You can just juice them.
Yeah, so he started juicing people, making the juice into ponies that serve him, and he gets caught by the old wizard hero was still alive the whole time and kicked out. And then he spends like a few hundred years sneaking around, juicing people, building up his power base in the background, making clone replacement clones, starting his weird cult. And he forgets why he wants to open the dragon portal. He just has this vague apprehension that the dragon portal is important. So he goes and he thinks, obviously, I want to open the dragon portal so I can juice him because dragons are so powerful and magic. So he goes and he calls his own children through the dragon portal and tries to juice them, but they get away. And that's the story of this game, is that you have to stop him and save the dragons. And at the end, you fight a dragon. He calls through the portal. And you don't know any of this unless you compete some balls hard on likely optional chapters. One of them is double nested. You do an optional chapter that you get from completing a really hard, like an RNG-based side objective. And then there's an optional chapter inside that optional chapter, which you get by doing like an optional special hidden objective inside that one. And then you get the cutscene where Nurgle is like, he warps in and you learn that he used to like be a person. And it changes his death dialogue to being like, oh no, I remember my dead wife.
I biffed it.
Yeah, I biffed it. Yeah. And then here one of the 2 dragons, the dragons join your group as units, but they're the dancer / bard. They're not like power units. They're not Maticate.
The dancer is probably one of my favorite archetypes in Fire Emblem. Does the dancer in that one give you a second turn?
Yeah.
That's one of the best fucking units.
It's super strong. You get a second turn.
Because in a game where you don't know who your strongest unit is going to be because of the rank ups, the dancer can just make them go twice.
Yeah. Bust the action economy.
Yeah, basically the dancer goes next to them and does a little jig, and then they get their turn back.
But you can pair Eliwood, Roy's dad, and Nyan, the girl dragon, actually have a support with each other where they love each other. So it's possible that Roy...
Wait, that cheated on his mom?
So it's possible that Roy's mom is a drag.
I thought Roy knew his mom.
Well, maybe he did, but see, like they didn't when they wrote Roy, they didn't consider this whole thing.
We said we had a mom, but we never bothered to draw or think about it for even a second.
Exactly. So then Fire Emblem 8 is also for the Game Boy Advance, and they start over again in new continuity again. This is probably the easiest one.
It's traditional now.
There's 2 lords again, like there was in FE2, and the big Eastern country is invading again, but a different country, different kind of people. And the 2 lords are like the French and the French of this place getting invaded. And your J in this game is the best one, except maybe Sigurd. The people say the 2 best units in the entire series are Sigurd and this guy Seth. And Seth is your Jagan Paladin horseman in this game, who for some reason not only has high base stats, but his gross are actually pretty good too. There's not the point. Usually he's supposed to fall off. He doesn't fall off. Seth solos the whole game.
I love it.
I like that he has like just a middle schooler's name. Everyone else has Game of Thrones names, or at least like
Your boy Seth.
yeah. And then Seth is just a guy.
So in this game, everyone has these hereditary like rocks, and they're king these magic rocks.
Yeah.
And
they don't go in his shield, so don't ask.
And they don't go in his shields, don't ask. And one of them, their friend, the lord of the country that ultimately ended up invading everything, is like fucking around with their stone, and he gives him like a vision, and magic makes him split the stone in 2. And one of the halves of the stone is evil and has the Demon King soul in it. And it takes over their friend, and that's why that country is invading everything, and he's evil now, and it's down here. That was a lot simpler.
That is a lot simpler.
Yeah. That one was, like I said, that's a good...
I could actually probably view with some fluffing up, actually.
If FE said there's more to it, but it's not relevant. Yeah. If FE7 didn't have a tutorial built into it for dumb Western children, I would say FE8 is the easiest jumping on point in the series.
Yeah.
It's easier. Oh, and the Fire Emblem in this is one of the stones is the Fire Emblem. There you go.
Oh. How many different continuities are
A lot.
Okay, I think that we just hit at 3. I think we just hit 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're going to 4 now.
So Marth and Roy are in different universes?
No, yes, they don't exist at the same time.
Okay. I'm back. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Fire Emblem 9 is Path of Radiance. It came out for GameCube, and instead of being lovely, beautiful sprites,
Yes.
the Fire Emblem Game Boy Advance sprite work is some of the best ever. The attacks are so cool. It was so cool.
It's so fluid, man.
And it goes from that to being sickening, poo-poo, doo-doo 3D models with FMV anime sequences in between with voice acting.
That's
Yeah, so you can see the my personal off-ramp to the series swarming.
Yeah, and it's shaped like Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, it is. And we're in a new community. We're in a new continuity again. This one's called Tellius. Yeah, the 4th one. And in Tellius, there are humans and animal men, and some of the animal men are dragon men, which are Maticates. But some of the animal men are like wolves or cats, or like some of the animal men are birds. And basically, they're just analogous to other units. Like the bird animal men, one of them is a heron that sings and gives you an extra turn like a dancer or a bard.
Right.
One of them was like a Pegasus knight. One of them was a heavier, like a wyvern guy. The wolf and the lion and the kitty cat leopard are kind of like analogous to axe, sword, and lance.
Yeah.
How they work in terms of like their headiness and like speed.
One's strength, one's speed.
Yeah, one with in between. And obviously, the humans and the animal men don't get along, don't you know? Because the real monster is man. Race.
The real monster is racism.
There's racism. Yeah. The real monster is an evil dragon. That's kind of big. Which that you're gonna hear me say it a couple more times tonight. And this one, you are Ike from Super Smash Brothers. And obviously, you start out as a mercenary, but you know you're not a mercenary. Obviously, you're secret son of the hereditary lord, blah, blah, blah. Who cares at this point? Come on, man. It doesn't matter. And Ike is a good guy, and you work to patch up human and monster man relations, and you fight the big evil invading king and save the day. And the entire time, there's this like Black Knight guy, and he's like
He's hardcore as hell.
Yeah, he kind of like follows you around. You fight him a couple of times. He's mysterious. He's in the background. You're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Get out of here, Shadow the Fire Emblem unit.
Yeah, get out of here, Shadow the Fire Emblem unit. And you fight the evil king, and you save the day. As I mentioned, there are animal people, and so there are animal units. their rage meter fills up over time. When it fills up, they turn into a cat or a lion or a heron or whatever.
They beast mode.
They added this weird thing that I'll pay in like called biorhythm, where units have like ups and downs in the map themselves based on the turn. Stat penalties and bonuses.
Yeah, I don't like that.
People didn't like
Sorry,
that.
this turn she's really tired. Next turn.
They added the base. This is where the rot sets in for me personally. They added the base where you can do support like conversations there and shop and do weapons, and you can like super giga upgrade your weapon if you want. They added fixed growth as an option, I'm pretty sure, in this one as well. And skills are back like from FE4 because they weren't in FE6 or 7 or 8, but they're back now. But they were a little bit like crucible skills are back now. That's like in Super Smash Bros. When ITLs Ether and hits a bunch of times, that's because his ability in the game is Ether and make it hit a bunch of times.
Cool.
Okay. Oh my god. Radiant Dawn. This is the one that makes the last game into like a Charlie Wall schizo ramble.
That's what I like to hear.
So, again, disclaimer, I might get some of this wrong because some of the things, like the events of the story, change on your second playthrough and become kind of nicer and more satisfying. A really long time ago, before the events of FE9, all the humans and monster men were one race and lived in harmony together. And they lived in peace and worked with the creator goddess. And then they evolved into humans and monster men separately and started fighting, because of course they did.
Yeah.
And the creator goddess got really butthurt and flooded everything and killed everyone. And realized that's probably not a good idea. So she split herself into two parts. She split herself into the order part and the chaos part that has her emotions in it. And
you will be called Piccolo.
And instantly those two parts started fighting, because of course they did. And Order won. And Order imprisoned Chaos, and her top retainer convinced her not to kill the Chaos one,
Right.
and put it in
Is it like Dragon Ball?
It's sort of in a necklace, right? And they'll have 1,000-year truce, and we'll see what happens. So a lot of time passes. There's this guy, and he's Ike's dad, and he's like the noble knight, blah blah. Who cares? And he ends up leaving the noble life to go just be some guy, because he marries Ike's mom, who is the person who carries that medallion.
Oh.
Yeah. And he fucks off from being an important knight. And then one day he accidentally touches the medallion, which, because he's not supposed to touch it, made him go insane and kill her. And then the bird person who convinced God not to kill the chaos half of God shows up with the Black Knight and is like, okay, we're going to make Ike forget that, because he needs to forget that.
That really fucks up the other day.
If he knows that, yeah. And so he forgets that, and the bird person used to have the power to awaken the goddess. There's this thing where if you were a monster man and you have a child with a human, then when you have your half-breed child, you lose some of your monster powers. So he lost the monster power to awaken the goddess. And
Wait.
so,
Just by having kids?
Yes.
Okay,
If I'm back around to it, okay, point back around to it. And if we were supposed to ask you about this, because what's a polite way to say that thing I put in the quotes there? Telling you I couldn't come up with this. We were supposed to ask you about this earlier. Because if you're half monster and you have to get one of those on you so everyone knows that's what you are.
That's the canon name, is it?
That's not the canon name. They don't call it that. They call it, they say you're branded. You have a brand.
Okay.
But that's, like if you, there's a real world history thing analogous to, if you're of a certain race, you have to have a tattoo on your body with,
that can identify you as such.
Yeah.
Bit heavy-handed, but
You have to register with the mutants.
Prejudice bad.
The Sentinels.
Prejudice bad.
Yeah. The real enemy was bigotry the whole time. So anyway, the Black Knight is one of those guys, and the reason that he always wears his armor is so no one can see his tattoo. It marks him as branded. No one can see his brand. And he works with the bird person, and the bird person, having lost his power to awaken the goddess, bird person is mad because, like 200 years ago, the humans went into the bird sanctuary and killed the birds. So the bird person is mad. And he can't awaken the goddess on his own, so he basically emperors the whole world into starting a big war, because there's a big war and everyone dies, will awaken chaos. And so he emperors.
That's a pretty ambitious first step.
and he Emperor Monster Man tricks everyone into having this big war, and the big king that you kill at the end of the last game was tricked basically by him into doing it. And anyway, the Black Knight. The Black Knight is really called this guy. His name is Zelgius, and he used to work like under Ike's dad and looked up to him, and he made it his personal goal. This is like the most anime thing.
I'm actually pretty shocked it's not Ike's dad.
No, okay, so he looked up to Ike's dad, and then the one day Ike's dad fucked off to go be with Ike's mom instead.
Yeah.
And that really made this guy Zelgius, okay, the Black Knight, upset because he made it his personal goal to surpass him and beat him, and now he's gone, so he can't do it.
What do you mean retired?
Yeah. Okay, so he works with the bird person to trick the king from FE9 into the war. And FE9, you think he worked for the king, but he doesn't really. And he kills Ike's dad in front of Ike because he wants to get the duel with Ike's dad. But he's like, what the fuck? Are you holding back? Why are you so impy now? And it turns out that Ike's dad has like purposefully injured himself as penance for killing his wife. So he's all wimpy now. And so Zelgius / the Black Knight is like, this is not satisfying to me. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to like make sure Ike stays alive and has to do a lot of fighting. So he gets really good so I can fight him instead. And then that'll count that. Yeah. And that is his entire motivation for all of this. Like, we're bringing the evil god back and we're doing this like weird trickery and working for this guy, working for that guy and fighting all these wars. I gotta do it.
But I can also parlay what we're doing into training this guy into strong enough that I'll feel good about it.
Anyway, they face each other, and I beats him, and I was like, okay, we're cool. It's cool. And no more, no genocido.
And Ike's like, I don't know if we are cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, Order is alive the whole time, and Order gets mad at all the shit that goes on, and Order turns all the humans into stone. You have to beat Order, and you put Order and Chaos back together, and everything is good again. Yeah. And this game has multiple lords. You play as Ike. You play as like Ike's sister. You can copy your data over from FE9 because it's like a direct sequel to FE9. Like it immediately right after. There's more types of monster men, more weapons added, a new tier of promotions on top, a third tier of promotions. It's kind of more. FE10 is an FE9 but more.
What system was this on?
This is for the Wii. FE10 or FE9 is for the GameCube. FE10 is for the Wii.
Gotcha.
Fire Emblem 11 is for the DS and is a remake of the first game.
Which first game?
For the NES, 1990. It is
Really?
called Shadow Dragon, and it didn't sell very well. I put this game down after not a lot of time. I didn't like it. But it adds like a lot of more modern mechanics to the first game, makes it a little less clunky to play, I guess. FE12, New Mystery of the Emblem, is a remake of FE3, which is itself a remake of FE1, so it's a double S remake. This is where they add the permadeath toggle. They made it so you can catch them all. And remember how I said in the early games, you only get replacement guys if you fuck up? Well, in this game, you don't have to fuck up yet. You can catch them all without dying. And they do a thing that I don't care for, that the later games add, where this writes you yourself insert into the story of FE3 as like one of the heroes. You make a character avatar, and you're the man now, dog.
You're the man now, dog. God damn.
And I think this is around the time where Fire Emblem sales have been tanking. They have not been selling very well.
Nobody bought them.
We keep remaking the same game and no one's buying it.
And right before they made the next one Rob's going to talk about, it was going to be the last one.
Yeah.
If this one didn't sell, there's no more Fire Emblem. It's fucking over.
If this one doesn't sell, it's going to be our
in
final one.
In 2011, before this 13 came out, I would say, oh, that's though. It's done. Maybe they'll make remakes, but like they're going to make more new Fire Emblem. And this is where I stopped playing. If you can't tell, I didn't play Awakening FE13.
Are we start? What continuity are we even in now?
We're back in the first one. We're back in the first. We're back in the Fire Emblem Awakening 13 for the 3DS. It's 2,000 years after all that Mars shit, and oh boy, let me tell you, this one has time travel.
Sure.
So, the Lord is Crom, and you are Robin, the Avatar self-insert unit, Robin from Smash Bros.
The one that Mario hates.
Yeah. Like Tony said, this was going to be the last one, but it sold like crazy.
Game Busters. Over a million units.
Oh.
Crom is the descendant of Marth, and Crom can use the Falchion like Marth used to use. So, like 1,000 years ago, kind of halfway in between FE1 and that stuff, and now, this guy's wife died, and he got sad about it. He tried to bring dead people back to life, and accidentally made this thing called Grima, this super evil dragon thing that he made like artificially using a little bit of dragon's blood and most stuff. And 1,000 years ago, a Marth descendant used the shield, the titular Fire Emblem, remember it?
Oh.
And the Falchion to beat him. And now 1,000 years later, a cult is trying to bring back the evil dragon from before. When have I heard that one before?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it just keeps going. This one in particular is very like self-referential because they thought it was going to be the last one. They made this as the last one. So like it's got a lot of that going on.
This is the 5th time that we've remade this game.
Yeah.
And we have become
Exceedingly efficient.
And like one of the characters is you'll get there. You'll get there.
How much time have we got? I got 4 more to go.
Half hour.
Oh,
My
we're good.
goodness.
We're
cooking along.
Okay, so you are Robin. That's yourself into your character, and you, Robin, have a dream where you kill Crom, and then you wake up in a field surrounded by Crom's army, and he's like, "Oh, you know about tactics. You work for me now. We're gonna go and we're gonna do good stuff, everybody." And
You haven't dreamed about killing me, have you?
yeah, there's you or Crom is the country that worships Naga, the good dragon, and they fight in a religious war against the country that worships Grima, the bad dragon. And this dude, just like masked dude, shows up and he says, "My name is Marth," and he helps you win the war against the other country. And then 2 years pass, and Crom inherits as the lord of the Naga worshipping country, the good worshipping country, has a daughter, and named his daughter Lucina. Another war kicks off, and quote unquote Marth shows back up, takes off her hood, and says, "It's me, Lucina. I'm from the future.
Yeah.
I'm your daughter from an alternate timeline where you lost. Naga, the good dragon, sent me back in time, and you have to put all the gems back in the shield and use it to banish this guy."
Huh.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up, but I thought he'd bring it up. Yeah.
And you go and you get all the gems, and you go to get the 5th gem from one of your quote unquote allies. He tricks you and reveals that he is you, Robin's dad, your dad, and that you were actually supposed to be the host for Grima, the evil god. And in Lucina's timeline, you killed Crom. That's what you dreamed about. That's why you had dreamed about killing him.
Right.
And you overcome that guy and get the gem. And before you go to seal everything and save the day, the evil you with the demon god, the dragon god inside of him, shows up from the other timeline and says, "The reason you can't remember shit is because in this timeline, Grima failed to take you over. They did the whole ritual and it failed. Well, that ritual power is still lying around, and he double rituals. And instead of just being a dragon hiding inside of the ultimate version of you, he fully dragons out."
Yeah, he becomes a nemesis from Resident Evil.
Yeah, and so you have to fight. He's a full dragon. And then, because of story things that got set up over the course of this, Crom is able to do the reverse and bring Naga back, just like Fire Emblem 4. Remember Fire Emblem 4? Remember the cult over the thousands of years and the machinations and the bringing back the gods? Remember that? Well, it happened again. I can't believe it happened again.
This time with time travel.
This time with time travel. And there's 2 endings. Either Crom kills the dragon, which only puts him to sleep for 1,000 years, kicks the can down the road. And the other ending is you find out that because you are the host, you can't. Robin? Were you in this one?
Yeah, Robin.
Robin,
Yeah.
thank you. I lost my train of thought there. You, Robin, can kill the dragon. If you get the killing blow, the dragon dies, but you die too, except you don't. You wake up back in the field, happy ending. Yay.
You wake up back in the field at the start of the time loop.
I don't think you're Groundhog Day. I think if you wake up, everything is good now.
Okay.
Yeah. And they added, because this was the 3DS, and 3DS was very online.
Yeah.
With all kinds of DLC, so you could download and have Sigurd in your game. Like, fuck it, why not?
The annual who gives a fuck?
And because
Just add whatever.
Yeah, like I said, this was going to be like just a kitchen sink game. So like, there's also child characters, because it's not just Lucina who comes back from the bad future. All the other pairings you made have children too, and here they are now, and you get them too. Yay! I never played this one, but as I reading about the story and watching videos and stuff, kind of interested me. I like it a lot when I play it. Now, Fire Emblem 14 Fates has 2 versions like Pokemon. It has Birthright and Conquest. Birthright is Japanesey and like the the kingdom that's the birthright kingdom that you work for in that game is like Japanese aesthetic themed, and that kingdom Hoshido worships the Dawn Dragon, the good dragon, and that's the easy mode. In that one, the mechanically they're different. In Birthright, you just like if you want to grind XP, you can just infinitely generate like nothing chapters to kill generic units to grind XP, and you have like unlimited money and stuff like that. Conquest is the other version, and in Conquest, you work for Nor, the European themed kingdom, which is the Dark Dragon loyalist kingdom, and that's hard mode, where
Plays the bad guys.
yeah. So and there's like,
That's fucking cool.
in this one you play as Corrin, and again you're the Avatar, and that's like the oh look at you're the hero thing is like I think that's a little bit like silly. Like I don't need to be written into the game as the hero. Like I don't.
Just let me pick one of the guys that are in charge. Who would be in charge?
But this is like where it really gets into like, oh, and you have your player-owned house/castle, and you can dress up your characters in the castle.
Make them kiss.
Yeah, and it made them kiss. Yeah.
Big Tony.
Yeah, exactly.
Big Tony.
So there's 2 different versions, and then once you beat like your version, there's DL. You can go online, get the DLC with the other version, plus of that.
Yeah.
And there's 2 different timelines with and then they later added a 3rd DLC for the real ending. This one was this is another Charlie Wall one. Reading about this made me really want to play this one.
Oh.
How is 3DS emulation? You done that?
I've not.
Neither have I. Well, the one time I tried, it was for X and Y, and it ran bad, but instead of like tinkering with it, I was so disgusted by the 3D-ness of X and Y and the no sprites that I turned the game off and didn't try.
I didn't mind the 3DS generation of Pokemon. However, it was ugly. There's no argument to be made. They did the colors wrong. They didn't bother with a lot of the sprites or models or animations or any of that. But I didn't mind those games so much.
Okay.
I have no idea how it emulates.
That's definitely a future episode. Is just us complaining like old men about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Anyway, Armor 14 Fates, 2 versions, Perfect Conquest, DLC for the other ones.
We're 14 games.
We're 14 games in,
and
we're on our 5th continuity.
God damn! I was about to say okay. We've decided this is what counts. This is the canon one.
That number is going to go up again.
Oh my god!
Continuity 5 is I don't know the name of this one. The Fates.
Is this spin-off content?
No. This is its own continuity. So a long time ago, there were 12 dragons of all different kinds. And they fought to control the world. One of them won. And just like in the old games, though, you had the thing where, for some reason, the dragons are all going nuts. Nobody knows why. It's just happening. And so most of them had to leave. But not before, like, they put their dragon blood into certain people. Remember dragon blood? It's bad.
Yeah.
And one of the dragons stayed and went nuts and became evil. And they were using this song to fix him. It helped for a while until it didn't help anymore. And so that's like the 1,000-year prequel. You don't know any of that at the start. You don't know any of that. That's all stuff revealed in the 3rd secret final DLC. You are Corrin, another Avatar character from Super Smash Bros. And you are Corrin, and you are, in the prologue, you are a royal for the European kingdom Nor. And you learn in the prequel that you have, in the prologue, you have the dragon blood in you. And you learn that your top retainer is like the dragon blood too. And you learn that you are not biologically the royal of the Nor Kingdom. You are actually the son of the other kingdom. So you're double royal. You actually have a claim to the thrones of both kingdoms. And throughout the prequel, they show you, or the prequel, I keep saying prequel. Throughout the prologue, you meet like, here's your Nor family, and here's your Hoshido family. And they're all such nice people. Like, isn't it nice that we're all nice? Just and I love you, brother. Yeah, we can all really get along. And then this weird guy shows up. And he uses the weapon that you have, like your weapon inherits from being a Nor royal, to like blow your mother up.
What?
The Queen of Hoshido. He slugged.
Of all the means of assassination to say.
That explodes, okay? I haven't played it. It could explode.
Okay, yeah.
It's not an explosion.
There's magic. That's an option.
Yeah. And the thing about that is, she was magic, and she was keeping a barrier up between the two countries, and now it's not there anymore, so war were declared.
Ah.
Yeah. And you, Corin, your dragon blood activates upon seeing your mother blow up, and you start going nuts and fucking shit up. And this lady shows up and fixes you with this weird song, Valkyrie.
Ooh.
And at that point, war were declared, and you have to pick a side. Birthright, you start out, Birthright is the Japan one, the easy mode one. You work with the Norian resistance against their king, who is like a kind of a crazy evil guy. You fight members of your adopt, from the prologue. Some live, some die. The thing where there's 3 timelines, and certain things happen in every timeline. Like
Uncle Ben always dies.
Yeah, there's this guy who works for the Nora King, who's like his advisor and tactician, and he's just kind of like a dick. He's not like a, he's kind of like a Palpatine, but that's not it. Like, if Palpatine was a dick, like if Palpatine went out of his way to be mean for fun a lot.
Just a cruel, petty man.
Yeah, he dies in every prologue, in every timeline he dies. But yeah, so there's one of the dragons that stayed is like a smith dragon, and he powers up to a weapon. That's another thing is, like, you have the special weapon you inherit, and in the different timeline it gets powered up in different ways, and it gets its full max power only in the secret third timeline. So you fight the Nor King, who can turn into a dragon too, his dragon inside him, and you lose, and then you get the Get Out Rock, where you get like spiritual slash you give me your energy at the same time.
Yeah.
And you come back and you fight him and you win. And hold on, I lost my place for a second. You get to fight him and you win, and some of the siblings live and some of the siblings die, and you have peace in our time. Someone was a mind control. There's a lot of people who died and got replaced with like skinwalkers of them, and they're freighters, and you gotta figure that out. That happens in every timeline. And then you beat the king and peace in our time, but your singing friend and some of your siblings die. Real sad. Conquest, the European and hard version, you work for Nor, and the guy who's the king's tactician just fucks you around and tries to get you killed over and over again. Sends you into ambushes and stuff over and over again. And like the kingdom is killing innocent guys, and you're like, what the hell is going on? And then there's like an aside where the Nor King goes to an opera, and this lady that you haven't met in this timeline because you didn't meet her in this timeline yet is singing this strange, curious song. And she's making the king go like, and so he's like, okay, no more singing, kill all the singers. And you think that's probably not a good idea. And you go through this dimensional portal to follow the singing woman one night, and she tells you, yeah, that's not the king. He got replaced by a skinwalker. He's actually a demon. And if you get him to sit on the throne, if you help him win the war and get him to sit on the other nation's throne, it has this magic property to reveal that he is a demon. And you do that, and some of your siblings die, and you find out the king is fake, and you kill him, and your singer friend dies. Peace in our time. Okay. The real ending came as DLC later. When prompted to pick a side, you instead run away and get declared an enemy of both factions. And your singer friend makes you go back to the prologue location where you were fucking around. And it turns out the prologue location was this weird portal to where the crazy evil dragon ruled a third kingdom. There was a third kingdom that everyone forgot about the whole time. You aren't royal for either of those other two kingdoms. You're actually royal for that kingdom, and so is she. And that's why she knows the magic song that used to make the crazy dragon shut up. That's why she knows the weird song. She has weird magic powers.
Oh.
The guy, your friend who died in the prologue, didn't actually die. It turns out he was a skinwalker or mind controller or something the whole time.
Way before that.
And the third kingdom is the real antagonist, and you have to convince the other two to work against it. And you kill the dickhead guy again, because fuck him.
Yeah.
And people are mind controlled. The person who killed the person you thought was your mom and the Hoshido queen was the person you thought was your dad, who was the Hoshido king who had died previously, but he didn't really die. Maybe he got replaced with Skinwalker, I don't know. That's what he blew her off. And he's like, actually, you aren't my son, you aren't her son. You're the third kingdom.
You're just some kid.
And
we love.
The person behind all of it all was the big crazy dragon, never actually died, and he's still there. And the Nora King worked for him the whole time. And he shows up and it's like, master, I'm here. And the dragon eats him.
Yeah. Still
And
insane
then
dragon.
you fight the dragon, and it turns out that you were that dragon's son the whole time. You have his dragon blood in you.
How many people's son am I?
Yeah, dude. Reading the plot of this one and watching because this is one where I was like, wait, this one and the time travel one, I was like, wait, what? I had to like look up timelines and make like a little graph in MS Paint to track like what the fuck is going on in these. I really want to play these. I need to get a 3DS or figure out 3DS emulation so I can play these.
Yeah.
But this is the one I've seen in videos and stuff where you like. This is the like you can just kind of reclass things. It's not full reclassing. Like everyone has like a reclass they can be, and then you unlock more reclasses from supports. Like if you support with somebody, you can share their classes across with each other. And there's like I said, there's your player own castle where you dress up your unit with little whatever you want.
Of course, there's always. I dated her for just a little while, but I had to get access to the subclass.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was just a fling, baby.
And
I just needed to get the thief subclass so that I could
They let to steal from you.
Yeah.
They added the mechanic, Dragon's Blood. You can like flex your Dragon's Blood. It will change its terrain. Like it'll flatten out some mountains or make a bridge across rivers or some shit. Yeah. There's
Activating creative mode.
There's the child and parrot units, which like I'm not clear on how the timeline works in this one. This is the one where you joked earlier about like, and anyway, he's just there and he has a spear. Like it.
Yeah.
I haven't played that one, so the timeline part is unclear to me. And it seems based on what I read and saw that the child units just appear. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah.
Anyway, Fire Emblem 15 is Shadows of Valentia, a remake of the second game. And they add
Still first continuity?
Still first continuity, and they add some stuff to tie it back into the other games rather than having to just be related them at all. And there's they added a thing where you can just undo your last turn and redo it a different way, which I think is a little silly. And they added back Fatigue from FE5, which is
boo!
We don't know shit about making these games. We're just gonna keep making them.
Yeah.
We're gonna add whatever we want, whenever we want. It's about whatever we want, whenever we want. Is it gonna be a sequel? Is it gonna be something new? Who can even tell? I'm gonna give you these children. There's the triangle of whether or not swords or axes work, and then you get on the horses for rescue. Everything else, it's a grab bag of incest and lore.
At this point, these are like popular game. People are actually buying these so they can play the dress up, so they can do the tea party. Yeah, that's what the people want.
It's what the people want.
The next game, 16 for the Switch, is 3 Houses, which I have not played, but Tony has played extensively.
Yeah, and I will make a episode dedicated to that so I can do it justice. I would consider that to be in my top 5, possibly top 3 games.
It's certainly the best-selling game in the series.
4 million copies and growing. People are still buying it.
The thing that I'll bring this up when we do a longer episode as well, so don't you worry about that. When Tony first played the game, he picked essentially the character he liked the best to follow up, because you get to pick your faction. And then, when he wanted to play the game again, he was like, "Oh, I should play the other factions." And then they were like, "Well, you could play your same first favorite character faction again, but this time, what if she's wearing glasses?" And Tony was like, "Sorry, I started that one. I'm playing that one."
But this time, Violet has glasses.
This time she
Look who you had!
Look her new hat. It's like a whole new game. Get off my fucking back.
So we'll talk about that in another episode in the future. And then FE17, Engage. Neither Tony nor I have played. I looked a little bit into it. People say mechanically it's cool, but the presentation of that game turned me off in a major way.
The characters look like they're toothpaste, like commercials.
Yeah, so let me show you. No, you'll see what we're talking
You'll
about.
see it. It's like the crest stripe. The crest stripe.
Oh, she has like plaque fighting crystals.
Yeah, it looks like the main
The
character.
crest gel
Yeah.
has this stripe. Oh,
Yep, she looks like he and she, because you can pick your gender. They look like they're
Hold on.
toothpaste commercials.
No, but they fucked this up is what happened.
So I took one look at that and I said, eee.
This is how you model character hair before you color it in properly, so you can keep track of what's clipping through what.
Yeah,
Those
That's
are the VTuber.
Yeah, exactly.
And I understand that this is mechanically a pretty cool game, and maybe someday I'll play.
Yeah, that's my thoughts too. I'm such a sim for Three Houses. I put like 600 hours into that game, and I'm still.
My major takeaway is I need to play those 3DS entries ASAP with the time travel and the everyone is secretly you're this and the timelines and the different stuff happening different ways across. I cut stuff out like to make it like
How many sons can I be?
We almost filled the whole time for the podcast with me rambling. There's another game coming out. FE18 I think is coming out. Fortune's Weave is going back to continuity 5.
Yeah, it's still in Fodolin.
Is going back. It's the Three Houses continuity is where that's in. Or is that 6? How many did we say?
Dude, at this point, what's the point of keeping track?
And they're introducing time travel stuff in this one. There's going to be time travel shenanigans occurring on the other timelines.
Okay, so we watched this long lore video about Mega Man, and I was blown away by like, oh my god,
Ben Saint,
yeah,
bless him.
He showed how all of these games are connected, and in truth, they are. It's actually a pretty well considered timeline, relative to what it could be. This is more like what I was expecting to find out about Mega Man some more, where it's like, yeah, fuck it. So now the robots are doing this.
Yeah, no, exactly.
The dragons are like this now.
So, yeah.
Shut the fuck up about what happened before.
The dragons were fine until they weren't, and they started going insane because the humans were racist to them. Yeah. And then they just pick the average of all the things that I said, and that's what you get.
Yeah,
like it's basically the same thing every time.
You throw everything into the mulcher, and then what comes out is all basically the same thing.
The enemy is a crazy dragon who went insane. He used to be good, but he's now he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Or the enemy is bigotry. Yeah. The enemy is one of those two things.
Yeah. Either the end of the thing is you are listening to power metal while you are slaying a dragon, or it's the end of Pokemon, the first movie, where it's brother, my brother, and all the clone.
Kind of like the ending of Darkman.
Yeah.
Last Fire Emblem ramble. I hope you enjoyed that because I had a hell of a lot of fun researching that, and I had a lot of fun talking.
And with that, we're going to end tonight's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the nature of this content, go and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube, and go and give me a follow on Blue Sky. And of course, you can support us on our Patreon. I'd like to give a shout out to our Patreon subscribers, our Aspiring Maggots Champion 1209, and our fellow Scryers Maticate, GaryGoblino, MidniteGrimoire, The Greater Good Boy, Kinomajaro, Grimtones, Wanrical Barcis, Janklord Emperor, Grimothy, Brett the Gnarbarian, and of course, my mom.
Thank you, everybody. Love you.
Bye.